Napakahirap yung naiinis ka sa isang tao at lalo naman mahirap na ikaw yung nakakainisan. Sa pag-develop natin ating Christian character, it's very important to be likable. Not only because we benefit when we are liked, but also because we make people benefit. Because when they like us, they get open to our message of salvation. So it is important not to be resented. At yan ang ating pag-aaral ngayon, pinamagitan natin how not to be resented. Thank you, Lord, that we can learn to be more and more like your Son, Jesus. We thank you, Father, that in the example of the many great men and women of the Bible, we can have a guideline on how to live our lives and how to deal with fellow men. Turuan niyo kami, Panginoon, na lalong maging mabuti ang pakikipagkapwa-tao, nang lalong magliwanag ang inyong kaluwalhatian sa amin at lalo kami magkaroon ng pagkakataong ibahagi sa aming kapwa ang mensaheng nasa aming puso. Sa pagtitipong ito ngayon, Panginoon, patawarin niyo po kami sa mga kasalanan namin, palakasin niyo po ang aming katawan, ang aming dibdib, ang aming loob, at nawa patalasin niyo ang aming karunungan. Kung may mga napapagod sa aming kalagitnaan, pawiin niyo ang pagod na ito, renew our strength. We like to give you genuine attention, O God. And may you teach us powerfully so we can change from glory to glory. Be our speaker, O God. We seek you in the name of your Son, Jesus our Lord, our Savior, and our teacher. Amen. Wikipedia defines resentment as a negative emotion felt as a result of a real or imagined wrong done. So negative, isang uri ng damdamin na masama, hindi masarap, at ito ay bunga ng isang tunay o kaya ay inaakala lang natin na paggawa ng mali laban sa atin. It is synonymous with anger, with spite, and bitterness. Now, there's a special quality of resentment. It is usually directed towards higher status individuals or those who style themselves as superior. In fact, merong isang social scientist that ranked this kind of negative feelings. Ang pakiramdam mo daw na negative, galit doon sa nakakataas sa'yo o parang nakakataas sa'yo, resentment. Anger is for your equals and disdain for people who you think are beneath your social status. Wala tayong ganung uri ng differentiation sa ating mga wika kasi hindi ganun ka-stratified ang ating lipunan. But then again, in this very stratified corporate world, and in the last 500 years, where there was a lot of stratification, it is not unusual for people like us to feel resentment towards people who are either superior to us or who style themselves as superior to us. Now, it is very disadvantageous to be resented. Pag ikaw ay nakatataas talaga, lalo may posisyon ka, yung pagiging effective mo in doing your work becomes lessened when people beneath you resent you. In fact, resentment could lead people into what? Not cooperating with you, into doing sabotage work against your very projects, or in fact, some of that could lead to violence and even murder. It's important to know and to review how not to be resented. Lalo tayong mga anak ng Diyos, may mensahe tayo na dapat maibahagi sa mga tao. What if we are resented? Pwede rin yun that we feel spiritually superior to people and unknowingly we style ourselves as morally upright or more upright than others. Then the feeling, the negative feeling that we can induce people to have toward us is that of resentment. And how can we be successful in sharing the gospel when people resent us? When they have this negative feeling. How not to be resented? Do not dominate people. So I want you to be quiet for a while and say, am I dominant? Dominante ba ako? Iginigiit ko ba yung gusto ko sa iba? Yung style ko dapat masunod? Yung taste ko dapat yun ang mangibabaw? Yung gusto kong puntahan, doon kami pupunta? Yung gusto kong behavior, yun ang dapat na behavior ng lahat. Si Abraham, the father of all nations, nung nagkaroon sila ng differences ng kanyang pamangkin na si Lot, dahil nag-aagawan yung mga tauhan nila ng lupa at mga tubig at damo para sa mga kanilang alagang hayop, sabi ni Abraham sa pamangkin niya, maghiwalay tayo para hindi tayo magaway. Ngayon, if you choose to go left, I will go right. If you choose to go to the lowlands, I will be in the hills. Hindi siya dominante, bagamat meron siyang karapatan kasi mas matanda siya, mas mayaman siya, at siya talaga yung patriarch. Si Joshua, kahit sa pagsamba at paglilingkod sa Diyos, sabi niya sa kanyang mga kababayan, choose if you would worship God or not. But as for me and my house, we choose to worship and serve the Lord. Marami sa atin, nakakilala lang sa Panginoon, nakakaalam ng konting verses, we dominate our families already. Magkakaroon ng family reunion, i-impose mo na ngayon yung religiosity and morality mo sa lahat ng mga pinsan mo, pamangkin mo na wala namang ganun pagkakilala sa Panginoon o ganun pagkakaalam sa Biblia. Many Bible-based Christians impose the religiosity on everyone else. That's why they resent us. Many people don't like born-again Christians. Nung minsan, nung ang day by day ay naghahanap ng mga malilipatan at kung saan-saang mga disco house dyan sa Timog, dyan sa Quezon Avenue, papatulan na rin natin dahil total sa umaga ng linggo, wala namang tao doon kung marerent natin because we continuously look for places of worship, to do our worship. Nakarating ako sa Manila Metropolitan Theater. At that time, it was still functional. At nandoon ang nanay ni, anong pangalan nun? Si Manzano? Edu Manzano. No, nandoon yung nanay niya, siya yung director. At nung pumasok ako, sinabi ko kung pwedeng rentin yung teatro. And she was smoking. Sabi niya, born again ba kayo? Sabi ko, bakit po? If you're born again, I don't like born again people. Sabi ko, bakit naman po? Aba, kung ano na mga sinabi niya, sabi ko naman sa kanya, may I call you tita? Napatingin sa akin. Tapos niya, okay. Tita, may I kiss you? Okay. And then sabi ko, tita, born again kami, but I promise you, you'll like us. And then she allowed us to use the Metropolitan Theater. Although we moved to another place very soon, so we were not able to lengthen our stay there. Pero what really I remembered about that encounter was that she had this notion. She resented born-again Christians. And I won't blame her because of the kind of behavior, the spiritual superiority that many people who read the Bible begin to display everywhere. Pati ang Panginoong Yesus, sabi nung nag-aaway ng magkapatid sa mana, sabihin niyo nga po sa kapatid ko kung paano dapat hatiin ang aming mana. And though Jesus was Son of God and had authority on heaven and on earth, Luke 12:14, sabi niya, who gave me the right to settle arguments between you and your brother? Kahit yung ganung mga hidwaan, ayaw pasukin ng Panginoon, ayaw niyang patulan, at ayaw niyang i-impose yung kanyang personal choice. And yet, many of us don't even have the right, and yan nakikialam tayo how to settle disputes of people, and we impose ourselves. You don't want to be resented, do not suppress people in a personal way. I said personal because professionally, you are entitled to suppress excesses against the policies. Halimbawa, may kumpanya kayo, required nyo sa mga men short hair because of hygienic purpose or for whatever artistic merit, then you have the right to suppress them because they're being paid to show their faces at your company. But what I mean is personal. If you have no professional relationship or a professional reason to suppress people, don't. Marami kuminsan tayo mga akala mo kasi ng mga tiya. Lahat ng buhay ng kanyang mga kapatid at mga pamangkin at mga apo, siya ang mag-i-impose, siya ang makikialam. Do you like that kind of tita? No. Walang may gusto sa mga ganon. Yung lagi nilang pinipigil ang kapwa, kinokontrol, and you want them to express everything the way you want everything expressed. So do not stop, limit, contain them according to your standards. Do not discourage, frustrate, nor punish them for not being, thinking, and behaving like you. So kung ikaw yung kumikita, nagbibigay-bigay, nag-aabot-abot, do you control everyone in your family? Kung ikaw ang medyo kinikilala o hinahangaan, choice mo na lang ba ang laging masusunod? Let's not forget that we all have our own individuality. Bawat isang tao, individual yan. At bawat isang tao, wonderful. Psalm 139:13-14, for you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. So while we appreciate our being wonderful and wonderfully created by God, we must also celebrate every other person's being wonderful. Hindi lang tayo yung wonderful, hindi lang tayo nilikha ng Diyos, lahat din. Siya ang author of our life. So mahalaga na binabayaan mo ang isang tao na lumago kung paano siya lalago, ma-develop kung paano siya ma-develop. Hinihingan ka ng opinion, ibigay mo, but if you're not being asked, unless you are the parent or the elder, and the person is a minor, then you are not supposed to suppress people and control them. Ang mga tao kasi, para ng mga halaman, you want to control your neighbor. Bakit sa gubat tumataas ang mga puno? Kasi nag-uuna-unahan for sunlight, and whoever gets to the top will spread its branches over the other plants, and the other plants will die because they will be deprived of sunlight. Ganyan din ang tao. Gusto natin mag-expand at the expense of other people. Merong physical expansion, kaya pagka hindi ka masyadong nagbabantay, yung neighbor mo, lumalakad yung kanyang bakod, lumalaki yung lote niya, lumiliit yung lote mo. Kahit sa mga upuan, Yung may mga dalawang armrest, yung katabi mo, dalawang armrest, dalawang arms yan, nakarest. Paano yung katabi niya? Nakagano na lang. Natural yan. Kailangang labanan yung nature. The animalistic nature that always likes to survive and to prevail. Yan yung pinapaamo. Yan yung kinokontrol, kaya nagkakaroon ng kabihasnan. That's why there is civilization and there is civility when we suppress ourselves for the common good, not when we suppress others for our personal pleasure and for dominating them. So do not deprive people of what is theirs. Their time, lahat ng tao dapat pinapayagan natin may private time, kahit anak natin, kahit bata. Kahit pakain natin, paaral natin, you respect the dignity of a person. Do not deprive them of their private time, their private things. Laging marami nagtatanong sa akin sa Facebook, pwede po bang basahin ng asawa yung cellphone ng misis o ng mister niya? Kung wala namang record ng mga kabalbalan at pangloloko sa'yo, respect it. But if you have suspicions, and these are supported by many evidences in support of the matrimony that must survive, then probably you may. But even that is a very tricky issue. Kahit sa court of law, pag illegally obtained ng evidence, it's not counted. Kailangan may paggalang ka sa iyong kapwa. Liban na lang, I tell you, kung merong dahilan at gusto mong i-preserve yung higher good, which is fidelity, unity of the couple. You must respect people's privacy, their private space, their private thoughts. So meron tayong pag-dominate sa physical world at meron tayong pag-dominate doon sa spiritual, psychological, intellectual world, that we control people's thoughts. Na pag nag-isip sila sa paraan na ayaw natin, we punish them. And people that have power have the capacity to punish. You can withdraw the good things you give, or you can send bad things to the person to punish the person and to further discourage the person from expressing her or his individuality. Marami tayong paraan. Kung minsan yung asawa mo gustong-gustong manood ng isang uri ng palabas, ayaw mo, so ang gagawin mo, uupo ka doon na parang bato, hindi ka kikibo. Actually, you're punishing the person for watching what he or she likes to watch. And actually, that is to discourage the person the next time, yun na lang gusto mo ang papanoorin. Kasi pag gusto mo yung pinapanood, masaya ka, malambing ka. Pero pagka yung gusto niya, nakasimangot ka, hindi ka, you punish a person, and punishment is a way to control behavior. So napakahalaga na binibigyan natin ng tao ng laya, that we don't dominate them. Even the personal expression of affection, we have a tendency to control that. Yung pag-express ng iba. Yun lang nag-express ng affection niya sa Panginoon eh. Pinipigil ng mga nakapaligid. Sabi ni Lord sa Mark 14:6, leave her alone. Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. Kung hindi natin babantayan ang ating sarili, napakahilig natin makialam sa kapwa. Ba't ganyan ang buhok mo? Hindi mo kaano-ano ha? Office mate mo, ba't ganyan ang buhok mo? Anong paki mo? Buhok mo ba to? Yung may mga uy, tumataba ka yata. Hindi kita tinatanong. Anong pakialam mo sa mga bil-bil ko? Yung may mga taong hindi naman sila tinatanong, uy, yung tumataba ka. So, tingnan, mukha mo, tingnan mo. Diba? Merong ganon, lahat, uy, parang ang payat-payat mo ngayon. Yung kuminsan, hindi natin alam, pakikialam na yun, panghihimasok. You don't know what trouble the person is going through. You don't know the details of his or her life, and you have no right to walk into his life and say, I don't like the way you look. Kahit ka pa nagpapanggap na concerned. Yung iba naman talaga, kunwari concerned. Kung talagang concerned ka, shut up. Because you only add insult to the injury. Usually, when people don't look good, they know it. You don't have to tell them, huy, luwa-luwa na mata mo, napupuyat ka ba? Hindi natin kailangan gawin yon. We must respect people because you do not want to be deprived also of your privacy, of your time, of your dignity. Luke 6:31, do to others as you would have them do to you. I know of a particular person na nagtampo, nagalit dahil napagsabihan siya'y payat. Pero kung magsabi siya ng mataba sa iba, yung taba-taba mo, parang hindi siya nagdaramdam pag siya'y nasasabihan. We just have to be more sensitive so people don't despise us. To succeed in life, you have to be liked. Because to succeed, you have to be helped. And people help those that they like. If people don't like you, they will even do things to stop you from progressing or from achieving what you want to achieve. How not to be resented? Do not place yourself above others. Do not talk and behave and act as if you were better, as if you had more. Kahit pa totoo. Romans 12:3, do not think you are better than you really are. Use good sense and measure yourself by the amount of faith that God has given you. So paano mo daw susukatan na yung sarili? By the faith that you have in God. Not by your possession, not by statistics, not by numbers, but how close you are to the Lord. That is the greatest measurement that you can use when you try to see where you stand. So measure yourself by your faith, not by your illusions about yourself. 1 Peter 5:5-6. All of you young people should obey your elders. In fact, everyone should be humble toward everyone else. The scriptures say, God opposes proud people, but He helps everyone who is humble. Be humble in the presence of God's mighty power, and He will honor you when the time comes. Madaling sabihin, pero madalas makalimutan, to be humble. Kahit ka merong ipagyayabang at totoo naman, be humble. Ngayon, kung wala ka pagyayabang, lalo naman, be humble. Do not present or style yourself as superior. Minsan hindi natin nakahalata yan, ha? Merong isang tao, may sasabihing word wrong yung pronunciation, iko-correct mo agad. You are saying you are superior, that you know better than that person. When you're not being asked, especially in the presence of many people, will it kill you or anybody to just be quiet? Kung gusto mo i-correct yung isang tao, i-correct mo na lang later. One time there was a person who was attending a Bible study with a group for the first time. At doon lang siya magbabasa ng Bible, pinabasa-basa ng teacher. Yun naman nagbasa, sabi niya, well, they went and crossed the Euphrates River. Sabi agad ng teacher, okay, so they crossed the Euphrates River. Yung next sentence ng teacher, sinabi niyang Euphrates to correct yung Euphrates. Can it not wait 3 sentences or paragraphs later before you read it the way you want it read? But you're displaying your knowledge at the expense of somebody's kahihiyan. Yun yung sinasabi kong you're acting superior. Sometimes we think it is solicitous, it is kind, that we like to correct the person, but does the person like to be corrected? And does the person like to be corrected that time, that moment, in that place? Merong foreigner na kakain bigla ng suman, kinakain niya yung dahon. Ano gagawin mo? Ipaghihintay mo pa ba tomorrow? No. Doon mo na pwede nga ipakita na tinatalupan mo yung suman kasi nalalagay na sa alanganin ang kanyang kaligtasan. Lalo't suman sa ibus, mahirap yatang i-digest ang dahon ng nyog. So may panahon na pwede kang mag-correct kasi hindi man nakaka-embarrass i-correct ang isang foreigner na kumakain ng native food na hindi niya alam paano kanin. Pero lalo sa atin, when we consider lack of proficiency in English as one big kapintasan, then people are sensitive when they are being corrected pag wrong ang grammar. There's always a time for correction, but don't do it in front of other people because you are displaying what? Superiority. In terms of position, must you always say your title? Yung eto si ganon, eto si ganyan, ito si doctor ganito. Pagka hindi ganon yung mode ng mga introductions, you don't need to introduce your relatives, lalo mga magulang. Itong anak ko, yan si doctor ganito, si engineer ganon. Do I need to know the professions of your children? We just stumble into you in the mall. And it's a very informal event. Can you not say, this is Freddy, this is whatever, this is whatever. Si doktor ganito, si engineer ganon. Must you display it? Baka gusto nyo, dalhin nyo pa yung diploma nyo every time. Tulad ng mga bahay sa Pangasinan, na nandun ang mga diploma ng mga tao sa labas ng bahay, which is really cute, no? Yung bahay doktor ganon, attorney ganyan, kasi accomplishment ng magulang, nagpaaral. At least hindi naman sila tinatanong, di huwag mong tingnan yung bahay nila kung ayaw mo makita yung mga title ng mga anak nila. So may lugar. Hindi kailangang laging i-display ang title and even possession. One time, I was introduced to somebody, this is ganito, the owner of ganon. Parang anong relevance sa mga ari-arian niya sa usapan na ito? Bakit ko kailangan siya ang malaman na siya ang may-ari ng ganitong kumpanya at ganong kumpanya? Tinatanong ko ba kung anong mga ari-arian niya? Meron naman isang pamangkin, sinabihan ng bisita, nandun sila sa bahay ng uncle niya. Ang ganda ng bahay ng uncle mo. Ano sabi ng pamangkin? Marami pa po siya ibang bahay. Pinapabilang ko ba? Sabi ko maganda. Anong kinalaman na may iba pa? Then you might say, well, I think so too. Nagagandahan din po ako. Or thank you. But for you to say, marami pa po siyang ibang bahay, wala ka sa lugar. Pero hindi natin napapansin. You know why? Kasi gusto natin magyabang. Ang pinagyayabang mo naman, hindi mo bahay. Bahay pa rin ang kamag-anak mo. Sabi ng mga Arabs, a bald woman takes pride in her cousin's hair. So ba't man ipagmamalaki yung malagong buhok ng pinsan mo kung ikaw naman tong hindi may-ari ng buhok na yun? Kailangan humble ang ating approach. Mga functions and deeds. Don't present anybody or yourself as philanthropist unless they're ultra-rich and they are really giving a lot of money to charity. Kasi may ibig sabihin yun parang yaman-yaman mo pagka philanthropist. Kahit kailan pag nadinig mo yung word na philanthropist, parang bad taste. Why can't you just say somebody who loves to bring food to typhoon-stricken areas? Pero philanthropist, no? At meron pa ako isang kilala. Tuwing may mga napag-uusapan silang tao, sasabihin niya sa mga anak niya, anak, yung taong yan, may utang na loob sa atin yan.
Tinulungan namin yan nung araw. Itatanim mo sa anak mo, sa mga bata, na may utang na loob yung kapwa sa kanila, ni hindi naman sila ang gumawa nun, yung lolo pa. You are positioning yourself in a very superior pedestal, and you are actually breeding young children who will become proud and who will probably dominate others because of the way you raise them. So you don't want to be despised? Do not oppress people. Huwag kang mang-aapi. Lalo yung walang kapera-pera, sensitive yan. Yung gutom, mas sensitive. Huwag na huwag kayong mang-aapi ng isang gutom by depriving them of food. Naiiba kasi, nagiging sobrang sensitive ang tao pag gutom. So may pupunta sa'yo, nangungutang, alangang-alangang oras, wala ka mang ipapautang, pakanin mo man lang. When you send away a person who is trying to borrow, oras na ng pagkain o lampas na yung oras ng pagkain at alam mo walang pera, gutom yon, that is oppression. Nilikha ng Diyos ang pagkain para sa lahat ng tiyan na walang laman. Feed people. Hindi yung halimbawa, may handaan, pakakainin mo muna lahat yung mga mukhang donya, mga mukhang mayaman, tapos mamaya na lang yung mga mukhang mahirap. That's bad. Sa katunayan, mas mabuting unahin mo yung mas mukhang mahirap. Kasi baka nga totoong mas mahirap pa yun at mas gutom, sinong dapat mong unahin pakanin? Pero hindi, ang mga tao talaga double standard. Diba, observation ni Mariel Francisco who wrote The History of the Burgess. Pag may handaan daw tayo, at ang kumakain mayaman at pagkarami-raming nakain, sasabihin ng may handa, may gana po kayo, misis. Diba? May gana kasi mayaman. Ngayon, pag mahirap yung kumakain at maraming kinakain, sabi mo, patay gutom. Pareho lang na may kinakain yon, pero yung iba yung paningin mo sa mayaman at saka sa mahirap. That is oppressive. Di ba yung mga mayaman, pag may mga sakit sa balat, allergy, pag mahirap, galis, buning baligtad, buni, iba-ibang pangalan. It's the same thing. But then we oppress people who are weak or weaker than we are. And that's what the Lord hates. The Bible hates oppression. So mas mahirap ang tao, mas mukhang walang ranggo, mas mukhang walang sinasabi sa buhay, mas irerespeto mo. Kasi mas manipis yun, mas maramdamin, mas nasasaktan. Ang puso ng Diyos ay para sa mga api at mga kawawa. Zechariah 7:10, do not oppress the widow or the fatherless, the alien or the poor. So meron kayong mga kargador, marami kayong gagawing trabaho, pakanin nyo na bago magsimula yung trabaho. Kasi mamaya na pagtapos na yung trabaho, kaya nga hindi matapos-tapos, nanghihina na sila eh. Especially about food, be sensitive about food. Now, do not flaunt advantage or privilege. Hanggat maaari, iwasan nyo yung VIP treatment. Long before our government has made a policy that government officials should not use wang-wang, we have already been criticizing this. Mga officials, iboboto mo, pati mga uhugin mong anak niyayakap, maiboto lang, at pag naiboto na, hahawiin ka na sa daan with wang-wang. So you know, it's very pretentious and it's also very oppressive. Avoid VIP treatment as much as you can. Unless you really are VIP and you need speed to be able to do your mission. Or you need to be secured because you really are in a security situation because you're an important person, because you are visible. But unless you need speed, katulad ng presidente, lahat ng ginagawa niya nearly are affairs of state. Dapat talaga may wang-wang ang presidente dahil alangan mo na traffic siya, hindi siya nakarating sa kanyang state visit kung saan dahil na-delay siya sa pagpunta sa airport. Yun talaga, may mga VIP na talagang kailangan nila yon. Why? So that they could dispense of their duties effectively. But unless you need a VIP treatment to dispense of your duties to people, to the community, do not encourage people to give you that. Huwag yung lagi ang gusto mo, nakaupo ka sa importante. Kumisan may mga gate crashers, hindi naman imbitado, but because they have a high opinion of themselves, uupo pa sila sa presidential table. Uupo pa sila doon kung saan yung importanteng mesa. And we know people like that. Gate crushers who go straight to the presidential table, and because many are polite, hindi na sila nasasaway. Do not ever abuse it. Kailangan ng tao, hindi natin inaapi yung mga karaniwan. Lalo't kung totoo na special ka, hindi mo na kailangan yun i-flaunt. Romans 12:16, do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. How else not to be resented? Do not dishonor people. Magkakamag-anak lang naman yung mga pinag-usapan natin kanina pa eh. They are all related. Do not dishonor people with your airs and with your antics. Sa Esther 3:5, when Haman saw that Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him honor, he was enraged. Pag binabasa natin yung story ni Esther, dahil palibhas at kamping-kampi tayo kay Esther, niisip natin, kontrabida si Haman, pero actually may problema din si Mordecai, nakamag-anak ni Esther. Mordecai was not giving to Haman, who was a high government official, the courtesy that was due him.
Kaya marami rin ginawa si Haman na binalak against Mordecai and even against the whole Jewish nation. Dahil galit na galit siya dito, si Haman kay Mordecai. Akala natin si Haman lang may problema. I personally think that Mordecai also has a problem because he would not respect a high-ranking government official. Meron din siyang ere. Kaya humaba yung gulo, ang daming nasangkot. Romans 12:10, honor others more than you do yourself. How can you honor another person? Pag nakakita kayo ng mga Hapones, na ang kanilang kultura talaga is a culture of courtesy, kaya pag nagbow yung isa, bow din yung isa, bow din yung isa, bow. Kumisan, limang bow na hindi matapos-tapos yung bow nila na ganon. Why? Kasi yung pag may huling nagbow at hindi mo niretain yung bow, you consider yourself superior. So kung talagang matanda siya, tatay mo, bow ka, magbabaw lang siyang isa, tapos na. Magbabaw ka uli, dapat. Siya hindi na, kasi tatay mo naman talaga eh. Halimbawa, very clear yung social stratification, alam mo kung sino ang huling dapat na magbow. Pero halimbawa, equals kayo, company to company, pareho kayong presidente o manager, hindi matapos-tapos yung pagbow. Why? Because nobody likes to be allowed na siya yung binawan tapos hindi na ni-return. Courtesy. Mahalaga na to, embarrass people by taking on airs, by showing and displaying your superiority. Kahit ang mga anak ng Diyos, kahit yung mga Kristiyano nung unang-unang batch or generation of Christians, merong mga mayayaman, pupunta sila sa Lord's Supper. Alam niyo nung araw yung Lord's Supper, supper talaga. Parang isang napakalaking supper, pero kanya-kanyang dala ng pagkain. So ang nangyayari, yung mayayaman, ang daming dala. Yung mahihirap, halos walang mailabas na pagkain. At nag-iinarte na yung mayayaman, ang dami-dami nilang dala, hindi na sila naghihintay doon sa mga medyo mahihirap. Nauna na silang kumain, nagkakanda busog-busog sila, nagkakalasing-lasing na sila doon sa Lord's Supper, kaya napagalitan sila. 1 Corinthians 11:22, don't you have homes where you can eat and drink? Do you hate God's church? Do you want to embarrass people who don't have anything? What can you say to you? What can I say to you? I cannot, certainly cannot praise you. Bakit nagagalit si Paul sa ibang Corinthians, lalo yung may kaya? Sabi niya, Lord's Supper ito. The whole church joins together in a fellowship over a meal. Kanya-kanyang dala ng pagkain. Kailangan bang i-display mo lahat yung mga first class na pagkain mo? May bahay ka naman, ba't di ka doon magpakabusog? Ba't di ka doon kumain ng kumain? Why can't you go simple? Para hindi magkaroon ng inferiority complex, yung katabi mong mesa na ang inilalabas lang nilang pagkain ay napakasimple o kulang. Pag may mga anak kayo at halimbawa ng youth camp, okay, ang ganda-ganda ng mga bedsheet nyo, ng mga comfort ninyo at kung ano-ano pa. But don't you want them to bring the simpler bedsheets? Gusto nyo ba na yung anak nyo, pag inilatag nyo yung bedsheet niya, ang ganda-ganda na ganyan, super new and super nice, tapos yung katabi niya, sako, yung dala. Pag meron na kayong kapangyarihan, kayamanan, kakayahan, ang ginagawa nyo na, you try to tone it down for the sake of others. Not to flaunt it. Tapos na-embarrass yung mga ibang mga walang ganong uri ng kayamanan. Okay, kayo magpipinsan, magka-classmate nung araw, dumaan ang panahon, yumaman ka na, sila hindi. Pag may mga reunion ba kayo, talagang isusuot mo pa talaga yung mga langkay-langkay mong mga hikaw? Won't you go simple? Won't you dress down? Kailangan ka ba lagi mag-dress up? You dress up when you want to be brushing elbows with people who also dressed up. Maybe. But to dress up when you know that everybody else is actually not dressed well is to flaunt what you have. It is displaying what they don't have or probably cannot have. You will be disliked. Ang pinakamahirap na atensyon na mapunta sa'yo ay inggit ng iba. Sikapin yung huwag kayong kainggitan. Lalo't kung talagang kainggit-inggit kayo, tone down, lay low, be simple. Huwag kayong makainggitan. Kasi ang taong naiinggit, nasisira ang pag-iisip, nalalason. At ang taong naiinggit, ang ambisyon, sirain ang kinakainggitan. You don't want that in your life. Nasa simple kayong neighborhood na kapag abroad ang asawa nyo o tatay, biglang yung buong dingding nyo talagang LCD, talagang plasma TV. Alam nyo, ang gagawin ng kapitbahay nyo, babatuhin nila yon. Kaya kung minsan, lalo nang umuso yung mga component nung araw, palakasan. Kasi ang tatay nito nasa Saudi, ang tatay ng isa nasa Iraq, palakihan ng mga TV. Why do that? I-display mo yung mga kayamanan mo, tapos bang may uutang sa'yo, hindi ka naman magpapautang. Para ano? Minsan ganun tayo sa ating mga anak. Gusto natin bida sila, star sila. May outing sila, may lakad. Gusto mo yung anak mo pinakamaganda yung damit, pinakaganon. But do you really want your child or grandchild or nephew or niece to grow up in a very competitive atmosphere? Na laging kailangan sila yung panalo, sila yung sila yung pinakamaganda, sila yung pinakamaluho. What kind of personality will you breed? Kaya dapat anak,
Simple lang ang gamitin mong damit. Bakit po? Mga classmate mo simple. You must blend. Hindi, itong gamitin mo para lumulutang ka. Yung mga ambisyon ng mga magulang na baliktot, nasisira yung personality ng mga bata. Dahil ang nagiging standard nila, dapat silang sumikat. Dapat sila lagi yung mapansin. This is ungodly. And it invites resentment. You don't want that in your life. So choose to be liked. Choose to be respected. Choose not to be resented. It is too short a life to be strongly disliked by people. When people dislike you, they want to help you. In fact, they might even do something bad to you. Or when you speak to them, especially about the Lord, they will not listen to you because there is no connection. So, maaaring may nagsasabi sa inyo, hindi naman ako nang resent eh. Hindi naman ako resentful eh. Diba? Or hindi naman ako nakakainggitan. Hindi ako naiinis sa mga matataas. No? Pwede natin sabihin yan, salamat. Ang gandang quality that you don't resent people who are really superior, who are really talented. That if your neighbor is a talented person, nanalo na kung anong contest, you rejoice. Hindi yung naiinis ka o nagagalit. That's a very good quality. It is something to be desired. Pero kung sakasakali man, no, na hindi kayo yung kinakainisan o kinakaingitan, pwedeng kayo naman yung nagiging resentful. So I like you to think this way. Meron ba kayong nakakainisan dahil parang superior siya? Do you resent anybody? Maybe a powerful person, maybe somebody who dresses better. If you're a single lady, maybe your friend na mas maraming manliligaw kaysa sa'yo. Ginagawa ka pang taga-abot ng mga bulaklak. So do you resent anybody? Remember this, don't make people resent you, or the other way around is don't resent people. Why not? Because people who act big, yung mga nagpapasikat, yung mga okay, mayaman na pero lalo pa niyang ipinapakita, sikat na nga lalo pa nagpapasikat. Every act of self-promotion is a cry for help. Kawawa ang mga tao nagpapasikat. Kasi ang totoo nun, ang laki ng pangangailangan nila na mapansin. Kawawa yung mga tao na kailangan laging sila ang panalo. Siguro napakarami nilang pagkatalo sa nakaraan na kailangan nilang bumawi. At kahit na lang sino babawian nila. Huwag kayong mainis o magalit doon sa tao na talagang normally nakakainis o nakakagalit. Ganun lang yon kasi may kailangan. Kasi kung masaya siya sa buhay, kung tahimik ang buhay niya, magiging mabait siya. Kaya sa pintasera, siguro marami siyang insecurities. And by criticizing others, he or she feels good about himself. Even criticism, every criticism is a cry for help. When a person is forever criticizing everything and everyone, the person actually says, help me, I have a problem inside of me. Hindi niya alam na yung pala paghigi ng saklolo, yung pamimintas niya. Pag may pinintasan ka, pag may chinismis ka, ibig sabihin, gusto mong sirain yun. Why? You probably feel threatened even without you admitting it. So, yung taong maraming pinta sa kapwa, lagi nagpapasikat, ang totoo, kailangan nun ng tulong. So, huwag kainisan, ipanalangin. Sino tayo mga kapatid sa dalawa? Tayo ba yung nakakainisan? O tayo yung nakaiinis? O pareho? In both cases, it is a spiritual sickness. It must be corrected. It must be healed. And the Lord is our healer. Kung napapansin nyo, lahat na halos ng kaibigan nyo, nakakagalit nyo, lahat ng mga kasama nyo, naiinis sa inyo, meron nang dapat baguhin sa buhay nun. Maybe it is something about the way we behave. Maybe we style ourselves as superior or powerful. We suppress or oppress others. They don't feel free in our presence. We're always criticizing. We always know better. Then change. Even if you're 70, 80, 90 years old, it's not too late to change. Even if you're going to die tomorrow and you have only one day to be a nice person, it's not too late to be nice. Especially be nice to your spouse. If there is anybody na kailangan magtiis sa mga ugali natin ng superiority at ating pagkokontrol sa kapwa, yung asawa natin yon. Kasi yun ang pinakamalapit eh. Madalas kung halimbawa masyadong controlling ang tatay o nanay, ano nangyayari? Ang aga nag-aasawa ng mga anak. At nagpapakalayo-layo kahit tumira sa Timbuktu, sa Lake Titicaca, sa Tanganyika, malayo lang sa magulang. Pero yung asawa, syempre hanggang mamatay nandyan eh. No? Kaya madalas ang nagtsatsaga, nahihirapan, pag dominante ka, controlling, superior, ang hirap na hirap asawa. So mag-isip-isip tayo mga kapatid. Alin tayo? Tayo ba yung ka-resent-resent? O tayo ba yung resentful? Naiinis tayo sa iba? Kasi baka naiinggit din tayo. Pero tandaan nyo, kung talagang nakakainis sila, actually malaki yung problema nila. Hindi kayo may problema. So huwag kayong magpadala, huwag kayong mainis. Let's bow before the Lord and think of people that you probably resent. Malakas ang dating, naiinis kayo, nayayabangan kayo. Think of them as victims, probably of their childhood. Mga sunod-sunod nilang kabiguan na pinipilit nilang takpan o pagtakpan. At kuminsan kahit mayaman na sila, sikat, pero hindi pa nila naiintindihan yon, pinipilit pa rin nilang pataasin pa ang sarili. That is a kind of spiritual illness. So think of people you resent, and I will ask you to pray for them right now. Quietly. Kung wala kayong maisip, edi huwag yung pilitin ang sarili nyo. Pero kung talagang may mga taong you resent because they seem to be superior, they seem to be better, they seem to have what you don't have, they seem to have a better life, a nicer everything, and you feel resentful, first of all, seek forgiveness from God and pray for those people na kung ano man ang mga spiritual illnesses nila, gumaling din para hindi na malakas ang dating nila, magiging secure and therefore serene. Pray silently. And also, while we're pondering this, I like you to think, maybe kumisan kayo naman yung nakakainisan. Kumisan tayo yung malakas ang dating and people resent us. Let us review our ways. If there's any light from heaven that now shines over our personal flaws, hugasan natin sa dugo ng Panginoon ang ating mga ugali. Humingi tayo ng pagpapagaling. If we have a need to always win, if we have a need to always correct people and look superior, bring to the Lord these deep-seated needs so that we won't use people around us as props in our ego trips. Panginoon, sa amin pong pagyuko sa iyong presensya, nais namin magpasuri. Nais namin makita, Panginoon, ang tunay naming kalagayan sa tingin ninyo. Nakakainis ba kami? Do we control, suppress, and oppress people? Do we style ourselves as superior, better? Forgive us. Teach us, Lord, to have a more honest assessment of ourselves and to assess ourselves by our faith, not by our rank, not by what we know or have, but by our faith in you. Turuan mo kami, Panginoon, na magbaba ng kataasan, magpaganda na aming mga ugali kung may kagaspangan kami na hindi namin napapansin. Teach us to appreciate people more than to demand attention and appreciation. Teach us to rejoice and celebrate the good things that happen among the people around us and not to be resentful or envious. At kami, Panginoon, ay suriin mo rin kung meron kami mga kinakainisan, unawain namin sila. Makita namin ang kanilang kalagayan at maging pagpapala kami sa kanila, Panginoon. We are your children, children of light, children of God, children of eternity. Maging daluyan nawa kami ng pagpapala tungo sa mga taong nasa paligid namin. Una, maging pagpapala kami at hindi katisuran. At pagkatapos, Panginoon, makapag-minister kami sa mga taong unay naiinis kami, pero kung uunawain pala namin, dapat din kahabagan at dapat tulungan. Magbulay-bulay pa tayo, mga kapatid, samantalahin natin ang pagkakataong ito. Para kung may mga relationship tayo nasisira dahil sa mga ugaling ito, maitama natin. It's not too late. And we can change from glory to glory so that God may be glorified and we will be called children of peace, children of God. So continue to be silent before the Lord and ponder the personal message that God likes to give you. Lord, as your people are silent, continue to speak to us.